government of the people, for the people, by the people.
Earlier today, a Broward County appellate court judge upheld the previous ruling to ban the sale of Miami Road.
This is the Moral Compass Podcast.
Nasty as they want to be in Broward County.
We think it's the banning of free speech. The First Amendment protects presumptively.
We don't talk about harassing and sexually brutalizing women in my music, man. We don't do that in my music, man. I'm tired of you saying that.
We got white collar people trying to crap our style, saying we're too nasty and we're too live. Corrupted politicians playing games, bringing us down to boost their fame. They must be joking, thinking we were poor, but they're like flies moving the wall. We stand tall from beginning to end, with the help from fans and all our friends. Freedom of speech will never die. For us to have, our ancestors died. Don't keep thinking that we will quit. We'll always stand and never sit. We're too live, too black, too strong.
How fitting is this song in today's society, huh?
To what we say, we won't be banned in the USA.
Well, this is the Moral Compass Podcast, and thank you for listening. I appreciate it, as always. I'm Mito, and I got a episode prepared for you today, I guess you can say. I'm going to be playing clips and talking and playing more clips and talking a little more. And that's about how it'll go. So anyway, I guess I'll just kick it off. Right off the bat, I'm just going to choose this first little rabbit hole that I've been going down for a while now, probably a couple months. And it's called Ted the Architect. Ted the Architect. And I'm not going to play any clips from this because it's all text. So on TikTok, there's an account called Ted the Architect. Once again, it is a crazy rabbit hole. There's 14.7 thousand followers on it right now. And I'm going to read you his first couple of posts he put on TikTok releases. So the very first one, which was on, I think it was on like September, looks like September 23rd of 2024. It says, Earth is full of aliens. Different species in the Antarctic, Grand Canyons, in the ocean. I will expose everything. Everything you know is a lie. Okay. Then the next one. This channel will change your life. Everything is a lie. Follow before they find me. You must know. The next 2 months will change your life, and understand we are fighting for you. Okay. And then I'll read the third one. It starts to get interesting. Our friends will be here in 21 days. Please do not let them tell you we are evil. Your lives will change this month, and pray for California because a huge earthquake will hit them. This was before the fires. That was on September 25th, 2024. And as far as I know, there wasn't a huge earthquake in California. Okay. So those are the first three. Okay. It goes on. There's hundreds of posts on this page. Okay. Now I'll read you the latest two real quick. So 2 days ago. And by the way, this TikTok page has never posted any video, nor has it posted any images until 2 days ago. Okay, and all it has been is text. So it says, Phase 3 has begun. Europe, or ... Europe, the time of disclosure will begin. You will see us just as we see you. Okay, And then yesterday, but I'm sorry. By the way, that last one I just read had a picture of a street sign or something in a foreign language. I'm not sure what language the street sign was in. It looks like maybe Swiss or I don't know. But it's it's one of them like Norwegian or something, like one of them weird crazy looking languages. Okay, so at least crazy looking to me. I'm sure it's normal to them, but just to me or an American probably in general looks interesting. But okay, so yesterday there's a picture of water with a big city in the background, maybe New York City, maybe Chicago. I don't know the city, but it's at night. Shows some lights. Shows water. It's a real pretty picture, with the sky behind it. And the text in the image says, "Your world has so much more than you can imagine. Time to unleash your full potential. Dot dot dot. We are here. We have never left and will always guide your race to seed the universe." Okay. So there's the first couple and last couple. Um, and so you might be able to guess where I'm going with this. They've never said who it is. They're not monetized. At least there's no like image or anything of whoever's account this is. Um, there's a lot of interesting things on this account, and there's a like I said about that earthquake in California. Um, there's the fires, um, but I don't remember if there was an earthquake. But there definitely wasn't a like crazy, crazy one that you heard about. I think there were some off the coast of California, um, a while back. Uh, so I don't know if, but there's some predictions on this TikTok page, but mostly it's just text and a lot of interesting text too. Let me find one that's somewhat long, and I'll read that to you. Okay, so on February 13th, um, this is the text it read. It says, "Okay, in Africa, there is a race of extraterrestrials that are 7 foot, very dark humanoids. Now, this is where it gets hard to understand. They live in a parallel universe, just like Earth, but their planet was destroyed by the Great Floods. They resemble your race until you realize they do not have sagittal suture like your race. Their vision is much better than your race, and they live an average of 420 years. Many even live alongside your race without noticing." So 420 years there, what this person says claims to be age. This other race that's here or kind of here or something, and there are so many. There's a ton. I mean, it goes on and on and on. And there's a lot of positive notes, like how to be a better person, um, and like the kind of cringe stuff where it's like love is the answer and all that, but not really. Not a lot of that. It's mostly like meditation and think about us. We will be there. And like I said, the name of the account is Ted, and then in parentheses the architect. And I read somewhere that this being, whose account this is one of like 4 or 6 or something architects of our planet or of our people or of something, and that is a spiritual being. And it's wild. It really is. and it's on TikTok. So unfortunately, kind of loses some credibility because it's on TikTok. I've looked for it on YouTube and I can't find it, so I don't think it's on there. That's the only platform I really looked for it on. I guess I can look for it on X. I should, because I'm on X the most anymore, besides, as far as social media goes. And uh, if you know who James LaFleur is, or the Impossible Channel, James is the Impossible Channel's reaction channel. So they have two channels. They do a lot of interesting videos about strange things going on in the world. Um, like UFOs or weird sky formations or um, sky trumpets or whatever. All kinds of different things, ghosts, paranormal stuff. And James does a somewhat deep dive of this Ted the Architect page on TikTok. And, and I shouldn't say that there's those two were the only images, because I'm scrolling through this. There's like I said, there's a lot of information on there. So I haven't scrolled through the entire TikTok account of this person, but I just seen a picture. Okay, so on 11/23, November 23rd of 2024, I'll read the text. Finally found a perfect image of one species of aliens looks like on this planet. Meet Alpha Centauri race. They are 3 foot tall, 500,000 years older than you. They live in the moon and in the water. They are extremely friendly and helpful. Do not kill. I do not know how this got on internet, but this is 100% accurate. And there is an image of an alien, and it looks like an alien, but it definitely similar to human, but it's got two eyes, a nose, a mouth, but all the proportions are like the eyes are big, round, and black. The lips are I don't know, narrow and straight. The head, the on top of the head is big. It's like its brain is huge, and it's got a lot of wrinkles. Got no hair at all. The nose is weird. It's like two holes, um, but kind of sticks out a little bit like our nose, but just a lot smaller. It looks like. Pictures somewhat a little blurry, so it's kind of hard to tell, but it's definitely easy to tell that it's an alien. And if you saw this, you would think alien, like walking down the street. So I don't know what this channel's about or what's going on here, but I'm gonna every once in a while I'm gonna read you just some of his messages. It's hard for me to believe anything. I'm very skeptical. And something I'm skeptical. It's like I believe everything is more likely the truth, and I don't. I'm skeptical because I just everything I look into or read, I'm like so fascinated by. I'm just like wow, Um, but at the same time, I know there's a lot of half truths or disinformation or lies, straight out lies out there. Um, and I'm trying not to do that. That's not what this channel is about. This channel is, I want to bring a positive message out there, but at the same time, talk about some interesting stuff I find out. And sometimes it might be negative stuff. And, and I apologize for that, but this is a positive channel. And I'm trying to motivate people to just think for themselves. Don't let others think for you, and work work together. Work with other people. Work unity is my main goal. And so that's what my channel is about. And but this Ted the Architect is a real interesting page. A lot of positive messages in it too. A lot of spiritual stuff. And a lot of warnings also though, and some predictions. So I'll just read them every once in a while. And I'll post a link on my X page to this TikTok page. So if you go to my X page, Absurd World Order, for today, I'll type in Ted the Architect on there. Hashtag Ted the Architect, so you can just hashtag hopefully find it. If you're looking for a link to this TikTok page, if you can't find it on your own. Okay, so next, I'm kind of going long on that, so I just want to kind of get into a few other things. So next thing I want to talk about is calendar. So let's talk about our calendar a little bit and how it should be 13 months, not 12. See if you agree or not. Here we go. I'll play this clip. It's from YouTube, Terror Ted's Tales or something like that. Right, hold on. Here we go.
They are giving us the wrong dates. We used to have 13 months in a year, 28 days in a month, and 1 day of rest, resurrection. This was even mentioned in the Bible. We have 13 lunar cycles, in each cycle being 28 days. The ocean's tides are 28 days. Women's periods are also 28 days. And then we have 13 zodiac signs, not the exoteric 12. Many ancient cultures used this 13-month calendar system. For example, the Native Americans used a turtle as their timekeeper. See, in every turtle show you'll see 13 sections in the middle for each of the months, and then 28 sections for each of the lunar days along the rim. See, the New Year's really starts in spring, keeping us fools on April 1st as they disconnect us through our natural cycles.
Our calendar is not quite right. We're supposed to have 13 months of 28 days. With 1 day, the day of resurrection, Easter, as a neutral day. That's our 365 days. We've actually got 13 constellations, not 12. This same calendar is very close to the Mayan calendar, but it's also very close to several ancient Sanskrit calendars. What does sept mean? 7. I thought that was the 9th month. What does oct mean? What does nov mean? What does dec mean? It's supposed to be the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th month. Jan is 11.
Right.
Feb is 12. March is 13. April is our first month. Babies are born in the spring, the 1st of April, Easter. This is the start of our new year. This is the start of spring when the flowers start coming up, the grass starts coming up, the trees start leafing out, the babies are born. That's the first day. Our neutral day, day 1. The day we rest and celebrate the resurrection, the new beginning, the beginning of Christ. April is month 1. And then we lost a month in there. Where is it?
Crazy, right? So, and it makes a lot of sense if you think about it. You know, why do we have some days that are 30, some days are 31? Why aren't they all just 28? Exactly 4 weeks a month, and we don't have to deal with these extra days. And my understanding, it's attributed to the Romans. They changed the calendar up, and that's why. And I guess they were close, but were wrong. But, you know, you never learn about this stuff, like in school or anything. And I don't know how much of that is true of what the guy said, or what they were talking about, but it seems like it. I mean, it makes sense. Like I'm sure probably most of that, if not all of it, is true. So kind of crazy there. Okay, so next thing is, yeah, I think I got time. So there is, on the gold, what's going on in the world with gold. So I guess you can call this, Anyway, it's about the gold reserve and anyway, here, I'll play it right now.
Something big is going down on Wall Street that could impact all of us, and they are doing their best to bury it. In case you missed it, there's a scandal rocking the Bank of England, but this impacts everyone, American and abroad, and I'll explain why. The Bank of England is suffering from a gold shortage. Essentially, they don't have the gold they're supposed to have. Now, the lid was blown off this because the wait time to withdraw gold went from a day to 8 weeks, essentially indefinitely frozen, because they don't have the assets. So where did they go? Where is the gold? Well, supposedly, the majority of it has been shipped to New York. But the reason why doesn't make any sense. Supposedly, it's to avoid tariffs. But there never were tariffs on gold in 2016, and President Trump said he won't do any now. But that's not all. The math itself doesn't add up. 393 metric tons was sent to New York, but the Bank of England is supposed to have over 5,000 metric tons. This is less than 10% of the supposed total reserves they have. Where is the gold? This isn't musical chairs. You either have it or you don't. So Bank of England could well be lying about the amount that was sent and why it was sent. Because here's the kicker, there hasn't been this much total gold stored in New York as there was in 2020, and at that point everyone thought the world was ending. Today, people are optimistic. As much as you can be, but more than 2020. But what does that tell us? What do those in power know that we don't? Something big is coming, and they are preparing by shifting their gold around. That's all we know right now. But mark my words, they're preparing for something.
You know, there was a lot of conspiracy talk a while back on Fort Knox and where is all the gold, or what happened to all the gold in Fort Knox. They wouldn't allow anybody like Fort Knox to be audited or anything. And so now we have this coming out, and there is something to it. So what? Who knows? But yeah, I think that gold's been missing for a long time. And, I'm just, all this stuff is coming out now. Trying to get, like I said, Trump's trying to get us back on the right track. And pretty interesting. Okay. And then one thing I saw today too, or I noticed, actually, I think it was yesterday, Alex Jones is back. Not back. He's been back. But Alex Jones is on YouTube, which I recall he was banned from YouTube. And from my research, he is still banned from YouTube. But when I was on YouTube yesterday, his page popped up, and his show, InfoWars, was playing live, like a brand new episode. So I guess he's on YouTube, or he's trying to get on YouTube, something like that. It's so he's, and if you're not sure who Alex Jones is or don't know, he is a conspiracy theorist, which is I know people say that's a silly, stupid word and they don't like it. And I don't like it either, but that's what he's known as. He's been right so many times. It's wild. All the stuff he's been right about. He's been on Joe Rogan plenty of times. And I'll play you a 3-minute clip that he posted on March 7th, so 2 days ago, about the war in Ukraine.
It is Friday, March 7th, 2025.
A little loud, sorry.
And you heard it here first. Of all the pieces and all the geopolitical developments and military developments that just happened in the last week, the big developments that finally happened today, I can officially tell you that the Ukraine war is officially over. It's about to be wound down. Unless there are massive false flag attacks staged against Europe and the United States by NATO, by globalist forces. And they've had Macron, they've had the ambassador from Ukraine to London, and that's the main axis, say that Russia, they think, is about to attack Europe. And they could do a small tactical nuke, conventional missiles, anything. That's how desperate they are. Now, they tried to get this $850 billion package for weapons that the European Union unelected commission tried to announce and say Europe had agreed to. 5 countries, led by Orban of Hungary, have said no. Italy has said they're not sending troops. They already had a coup, as you know, in Romania against their election because they didn't want war. That's blown up in their face. They were trying to use Romania to attack there in the Black Sea, Crimea, the big NATO base that they've established there and are establishing there. So it's all falling apart for them. And they haven't got the funding at their emergency meeting 2 weeks ago in Paris. They didn't get their emergency funding today. And every day that passes, more countries say no. So they had to have the United States that funds 85% of the Ukraine war and 70+% of NATO to do it. But we're pulled out. We're not having a nuclear war with Russia. This is a real revolution, and Trump is truly a peacemaker. But currently, as things stand, it's being shut down. And everything's going Trump's way and the way of peace and common sense. It's NATO that's expanded. I did a report yesterday. It's on X. It will have shown Soros bragging how they overthrew Ukraine, how they started the war with Russia. I mean, it's a fact they did that. They have recordings of Nuland saying it, all of it. So only idiots go along with this bull that Russia started this. The entire globalist order is collapsing in their own words. They need this war, try to keep the unelected EU Commission in control. Europe's waking up to how do we get under this commission. It was fake trade deals, incrementally signing over power for decades in the last 60 years. And now the emperor's new clothes are called. The emperor's naked. So we're not completely out of the woods yet, but culturally, politically, all the right moves are being made. And currently, the war is being shut down. You can mark this as the date that it began to officially end, and the whole coalition of the psychotic fell apart. And even if they stage a false flag, nobody is going to buy it, trying to drag us into it. So very, very exciting. Trump's openly talking about the globalist New World Order. I'm going to play that on my show today, the press conference. We got lavish yesterday, how they want to destroy America, how they're our enemies, how they're trying to sabotage things.
So the war is over, according to Alex Jones, and he's saying, they're onto him. Everybody's onto him now. What really happened in Ukraine, and I'll read this. And basically, what they're saying, or what he's saying, is that the Ukraine war was started by the World Trade Organization in order to launder billions of dollars of basically American or foreign money. It's just a laundering operation, is what it was, and that's what all Ukraine war was. And so it wasn't started by Russia, according to him. It was actually started in order to launder money, or for money. And war is money. I mean, that's what war is about. That's all it's about, is about money, and, building weapons, and at the cost and expense of taxpayers and lives, many lives. So it's a really fucked up situation, this Ukraine war. I don't know what to believe. Like I said before, I'll play the stuff that I think I agree with, but I don't know if I agree with anything completely. It's not like I lean towards the other side or anything. I do lean towards this view. But who knows? More could come out, and it could be turn around. So who knows? You can't always totally be 100% on board with anything. And that's all I'm saying. Okay, so, and Alex Jones on YouTube, on X, and he posts a lot. You can do a whole YouTube channel, or a whole podcast, or whatever, just on him and what he posts. You can do a reaction channel just for Alex Jones stuff. He posts that much content and information, and he does his research. So, his stuff is based on fact, or based on information that has been researched. It's not just, it's not just like he talks, what he thinks and makes you believe it. No, he does research and makes sure he looks into it because he was wrong once and that almost destroyed him. So, and he was only wrong once. So you got to think that about this guy who's been around for forever, always talking like that, like whatever the current common event is or situation is in the world, he'll tell you what he thinks is really going on, and he's almost always correct. Some stuff you can't prove or disprove, but he's been disproven one time. So never again with him. That's what his kind of thing is, or why. And I'm not sure why YouTube is letting him on. I know they banned him. It's weird, but I'm glad to see him back up. I really am. I think he's a voice that needs to be heard. He really is. Okay, I got one more clip if I can find it. So my last thing I'm going to play, and then that'll be it. I'm breaking the 30-minute mark, which I did not want to do, but I'm doing it. So, and it's a short clip, and it's a good clip. It's a positive thing. This guy in 2015 changed the way he ran his company, took less payment for himself, and paid more to his employees, and that resulted in extreme amount of success. So I'll play this video from Terror Ted's again, and here we go. It's really cool.
In 2015, this CEO told all his employees that he was going to be raising everyone's salary to $70,000 per year. Dan Price was able to do this because he lowered his own salary from $1.1 million to $70,000 also. When he first announced this, a few so-called experts called Dan a socialist lunatic and an enemy to capitalism, saying his business would go bankrupt soon. Fast forward to the present day, Dan's company not only doubled their workforce, they have tripled their overall sales, but that's just success on the money side. Dan's employees are now able to buy their own homes in this crazy economy. Many of them have had kids since the salary increase because they can actually afford to do so. His employees are fiercely loyal to Dan and his company because they're getting paid really well. During COVID, when company sales slowed, employees voluntarily took a 60% pay cut to keep the company afloat, and it worked. And when business returned to pre-COVID numbers, Dan even repaid that pay cut back to his employees, which led to his people all chipping in and buying him a new Tesla to show their appreciation.
That's how that's how it should be done. That's, if you run a company, you should look into this guy. Gravity Payments is the name of the company. And wow, what a great story. What a motivational story. I mean, he decided to take less money, and in turn he pay his employees more, and in turn they became fiercely loyal to him and just were highly super motivated. Got that company to become more successful than it ever was. It's just an amazing story. And it sounds like communism, but it's not. That's capitalism at its finest in my eyes. Thank you for listening. It's the Moral Compass Podcast. I'll be back soon. I do not have permission to play this song, by the way. I'm playing it anyway.
The United States of America.
For the people.
The United States of America.
By the people. By the people.
The show in Hollywood, those are 21 and older people. They had the police out there carding the people coming in the club, and they still arrested us for performing in the front of adults. What is this? Is this not America? This is not China. This is not Russia.
Wave
this is
to
not
your
the
neighbor.
place where they brought down the walls. This is America. We have the right to say what we want to say. We have the right to do what we want to do. And what I do in my house, you might not do in your house. So what I do in my house is my business. And the simple fact We are bonded by the First Amendment. We have the freedom of expression. We have the freedom of choice. And you, Chinese, black, green, purple, Jew, you have the right to listen to whoever you want to, and even the Two Live Crew. Two Live Crew. Two Live Crew. So all you right-wingers, left-wingers, bigots, communists, there is a place for you in this world, because this is the land of the free, the home of the brave, and Two Live is what we are.
You say it. This is the Moral Compass Podcast.